Oh shit! Did you see that, Shagdog?
Yeah, I
Did
saw
you?
something.
Flying pumpkins, man.
Pumpkins
God,
that almost look like
yeah,
candy corn.
yeah. Hey, put a swab beer with you. I'm Jammer.
Yeah, I'm Shagdog.
What are we doing here today, Shagdog?
We're doing Highland Brewing's Gaelic Ale, which is a red amber American red amber ale. 86 by Beer Advocate. It's I think is it seasonal? I think it's year round by Highlands Brewing Company out of North Kakalaka. And this is part of our fall Oktoberfest, right?
Yeah, Falltoberfest. I
We
didn't
didn't
get
really have
much
a
of
big
a
one.
head on that. Boy, I didn't
Yeah,
give it a much
I haven't been
crappy
getting any
for.
lately. All the beers I've been getting lately, I think it's something to do with the atmosphere.
I think it's there's a tax on CO2 and they don't want to pay it.
Right. I gave it a
Well, it
heavy pour, and I got that. So
says here our flagship is exceptionally balanced, multi sweetness, delicately hopped. And on Beer Advocate it said 5.8, but it's actually 5.5
on the
ABV.
bottle,
Yeah, got to go by
maybe
the bottle.
maybe they give 5.8 in North Carolina. Then when they ship it out, they ship it less, save money, right? Less alcohol.
I don't know. We got it in North Carolina.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you bought it up there.
It's not as dark as some people claimed it to be.
No,
We've
it
done this
almost
before a long time
yeah.
ago, but it's not as dark as some people claimed it to be. It actually looks very coppery.
It almost looks like a Yingling,
Yeah,
but maybe a slight tad darker than a Yingling, maybe about the same.
I smell the malty sweetness and those hops. Uh, Smells nice.
Yeah,
Smells like almost like a fall or spring type day when
right.
the grass and everything's
Like the harvest.
harvest. Yeah, the harvest. Everybody's out there doing the harvest. Yeah, Shag Dog, you got it right there, buddy.
Yeah, this it smells like you said.
Malty
Yeah, a
sweet.
little like a little sweetness. Typical red ale. It's not gonna be as bad. I don't think as most red ales that I don't like because it could be a more of a drinkable one.
Says here, Gaelic Ale by Highland Brewing is a deep amber colored American ale featuring a rich malty body. Cascade and Willamette hops add a complex hop flavor and aroma. This ale is exceptionally balanced between malty sweetness and delicate hop bitterness. It has a universal appeal and is our workhorse, accounting for about half our total production. This was our first beer and was originally named Celtic Ale in honor of the Scots and Irish who originally settled the Appalachian region. We had to change the name unbeknownst to us. Burt Grant Brewery had trademarked Celtic Ale. The term Gaelic more commonly refers to the language of the Celtic peoples in Scotland and Ireland, and particularly to the Scottish Highlanders. The dark amber color is similar to a Scottish ale, but the flavor and body is more the style of an American amber. Well, they were given the reason why they changed the name because I remember it being Celtic.
Oh, was it Celtic at one time? I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember. All right. Yeah, coppery, kind of like a
Yep,
Yingling. Yeah,
head's gone, pretty much.
yeah. You ready to drink?
Salante.
Hydrate. Mm-hmm. That's beerlicious.
Beerlicious. Yep. That is flavorful.
Flavor,
Definitely has
aroma.
those type of hops the typical red ale has, but it's not overwhelming where it's making me.
No, because that
I,
malty sweetness comes in there and complements it. It just kind of
yeah,
like come over here, baby. Let me stroke you a little bit. You know, huh?
Yeah.
Let
And
me
there's a
stroke
little
those
with that
nice
malt.
legs and your
Oh,
nice breasts. Sorry.
that's all right. Uh, yeah, it's a little caramel taste in there, a little bit with that maltiness, right? Just a tad bit.
A little caramel, yeah. That malty sweetness with the caramel, almost like toast.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that one bread that we always said?
I like Roman meal.
Roman
Roman.
meal, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of that.
yeah. And then it's got a nice little hop bite bitter in there. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. I like it.
Yeah. It doesn't have a lot of oomph to it, but it's not bad. You'll have that. But for people that don't like red ales, definitely a more drinkable red ale.
Very drinkable. Um,
Yeah. I still want to drink a lot of these though, because I just don't like the style, but
I'm going to give this a swallow and a half. Swag.
wow. Wow. I'm
Because it is
utterly
drinkable.
I'm
Although
utterly
it is a little
surprised.
rich and a little heavy.
Yeah, a little bit. And a little sweet, just a little almost on the verge of where I like it, a little bit over that, but that's
Yeah.
probably wouldn't drink too many of these. I might drink 2 or 3
Yeah.
if they're given to me in a drinking session.
You are so right, Shagdog.
But I'll give it a swallow and a B plus.
A B plus. Wow.
Yeah. What'd you give it?
I only gave it a swab so far.
Oh, you didn't
I
give it
was
the letter.
waiting.
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know you were done.
I was letting
Or
it linger and see how I feel about it in a minute.
right.
The flavors are there. The hops complement each other along with the malty sweetness, the caramel, the breadiness, the richness of it.
Hmm.
Uh, there's some lacing going on. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Lace is waste.
Lace is waste. Yeah, it's our fall Oktoberfest. Hence
Where
the
we're
fall
making
leaves.
the beer the star once again.
Right.
Who's that lingering in my background? I got a stalker.
Oh, that's your.
What the hell? How did you get there?
I could be at 2 places at once.
What the?
Yeah.
That is just crazy. Scary.
Time is irrelevant.
Hey, I could do beer reviews like that and you could talk.
I know. Actually, yeah, we could leave it like that. But it's, oh yeah, as I'm tasting it, but they're be like, "What? He's not tasting nothing."
Yeah, it freaked people out. Yeah, I like it. I give it a B plus too. I,
Yeah.
I was wanting to give it an A, but I can't. Hey, I got a cap here.
Oh yeah, same here. But I can't throw mine, so
Why not?
against the law. I don't even know where the hell the cap went actually, but
Why
I want to
not?
show it for the cat pervs.
Why not?
A Highlander. I just can't. I'm only arm's length, a little bit more than arm's length to the camera, but
You got
uh,
a bucket?
no, there's nothing there. In the future, I'll be throwing it once I get my beer room set up. Oh shit!
Believe it or not, I hit the bucket. It bounced back and over the camera and everything,
Oh wow!
and almost landed on the table here.
Huh?
Yeah. All right.
Well, oh. So,
I'll,
I
I'll,
got one thing to talk about. Tom Brady. Tell me what you think about this. Last week, Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown pass of his career.
and the poor guy got scammed.
Yeah, the receiver gave it to a fan without realizing Tom Brady wanted the ball and it was 600 or whatever. And they came they send an agent or somebody up to the guy and say, "Hey, we'll give you a tickets, helmets, whatever, merchandise
And a
for the ball
Bitcoin
back."
worth $73,000.
He's going to give him Bitcoin
It
or
was,
73.
and gave him a Bitcoin worth 70 something
Oh, I
thousand.
didn't hear that part because I heard it the first day it
But the
happened.
football itself is worth a $500,000.
Right. That's just right
So,
now. I mean,
so
years down the road.
why would you give up the football for $73,000, $74,000 and some swag?
Yeah, and for a rich guy who's going to keep it and it's going to pass down to his kids, grandkids,
Yeah. I
and then the
mean,
grandkid might sell it eventually
and
down the
yet the
road.
guy turned around and said, "Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, here you go. Take the ball."
Just think Tom Brady's grandson's going to get that ball
I mean, don't
20
get
and
me
30.
wrong. Tom is a nice guy. He does a lot of charitable work and everything
Right.
like that. That's a gimme. But the
Mhm.
guy worked for the Buck organization, paid that guy that to get the ball.
Yeah. I think Tom
Um,
Brady should give him some money.
and I personally think $500,000 for 70 something thousand.
Yeah. I at least give him 300,000.
I mean, yeah, I mean, just alone in taxes on that 73,000. Now he's down to 50.
Right. And you imagine 20 years from now, it might be worth $2 million.
I mean, granted, it's a Bitcoin, and it could go up in value or it could die in value.
It could even go up next week. Imagine the first play of the game, Tom Brady gets his legs broken. That was his last touchdown pass. I don't know if that was the last one of the game or not, but if it was, that's going to even go up more value. Instead of the
Yeah,
600, it's also going to be his last.
yeah,
But I can see Tom Brady's point because his grandson might get that ball and he might be a loser. So he'll, when he's about 30, 40, he's like, you know what? They're offering me $2 million for this ball. I'm broke. I'm doing
yeah.
DoorDash here.
And then he wastes it on hookers.
Or yeah, and he gets another car and runs out of money after 2 years. You know,
Yeah,
and hookers, cocaine, and DoorDash.
yeah, yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I think that Tom himself is a nice guy. He does a lot of charitable work and everything. But I don't like the fact that they throw a few crumbs from the table of the king and
right.
expect the poor guy. And granted, it's the poor guy's stupidity to say, "Oh yeah, you can have the ball," not realizing probably that it was the 600.
I bet you he's kicking himself in the butt right now.
I bet you a million one he didn't realize. Could you imagine being him and being a fly on the wall as his wife turns around and said, "You fucking moron, you stupid bastard! My mom told me not to marry you." You know what I mean? You turn around and gave that $500,000 ball away for 70 a Bitcoin and some freaking swag you could buy for 50. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but it's just not the same. I mean, first of all, if I was a fan and the guy came to me and wanted to buy it back, I would say, you know what? Here's my number. You can give it to Tom. Uh, I'll talk to him, but for now, I'm taking it home. You know what I
right.
mean?
That would have been a good idea. So let me think about it. Here's my number.
Yeah, call me
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Let me talk to my wife about it first.
yeah.
Like
And
you
then
said,
when you start watching the replays and stuff like that later that night,
or
and
that
you
might have been
find
it.
out he got a $500,000 ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was probably upset that night. He's like, "Oh my god." See, the night I watched it, the day of, they didn't mention anything about Bitcoin. They just say, they probably told me to give them some merchandise, maybe a football helmet, tickets, whatever, Which I'm
Gave him
like,
like two or three
at that
thousand
point,
dollars worth of swag money,
I was like,
basically.
a helmet. I would have kept the ball, and I said, tell Tom to come over here and sign this bitch.
Hmm. Get the whole team to sign it.
And if I was Tom Brady, that's what I would have done. I would have said, no, let him keep the ball. Matter of fact, I'll make it worth more. Let me go sign it.
Hmm.
I'm a good Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I'm a good Uncle Tom.
you're a suck up, Tom.
Suck up Tom.
Yeah, crazy, crazy.
Not bad. Most of the beers I had from Highland are pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
not the best beers I ever had, but they're on par of being
Let me
good.
tell you, they normally fall right into that category, just above average. It's like
Yeah,
almost there, but just above average, but not quite
yeah.
A
There's no
plus type.
there's no beer that from them that I think I've given an A plus to, but they're at the B
Yeah, I
plus
was
A
very close
range.
to giving this an A minus, but I went with the B plus because it just seemed right.
Yeah,
You know,
they grade the brewery on Beer Advocate too, don't they? I
I
don't know
think
if they do.
so.
We should start doing that too. After we had about 4 or 5 beers from a brewery, we have to grade the brewery.
Or go out and buy all 4 or 5 beer, as many beers as we can from that brewery,
Yeah,
and sit down and say each one of these beers have been a winner. And from what we could tell from their website, they have 20 something odd beers. We've gotten five. Each one's been a winner. I
or
say the odds are good that you will have another. You'll find more than just this.
it doesn't look like they have a beer advocate score for the brewery anymore. They used to back in the day. I don't see it on there now.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten lazy.
Yeah.
They've lost the inspiration. It's kind of like everybody. Look at us.
No,
We in the
I knew you were
beginning.
going there.
Yeah, we in
I'm
the
glad you said
beginning.
us this time, though.
Beer. Well, Shagdog used. We used to make the beer the whole star. We used to be behind the camera showcasing the beer.
All right.
That was us.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be on camera. We wanted to showcase the beer.
Hey, it's always on camera, though. Well, not
But
mine, but
a lot of our fans uh, convinced us to come from behind the camera, and so we did.
mhm. And then we were going to get rid of all this.
Hmm.
And occasionally I don't wear this. I just keep the shades on if I'm doing a quick one.
Oh yeah,
But all of our older fans love this, so we do that mostly.
and unfortunately, all the almost what was it, 1,200 videos?
The last channel,
Yeah,
I think it was close to 1,300.
1,300 videos, and everything
Yeah,
got
over
completely wiped out.
7,000 subscribers.
Half over, almost a million views.
Yeah, over 1 million views. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean we had 2 big videos that went over the I forget how 200,000 mark, but yeah, those two plus the rest over 1 million views, probably
yeah,
a
and
million and a half.
it's very unfortunate, but YouTube and their censoring and so forth.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I have to look. I don't even know if you can see the total views for your channel nowadays. I don't even know if you can see that. They probably changed that
Well, they
too.
keep changing it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's horrible. Every time you turn around, they're changing the way you can do things and
And
taking
you know
away
why?
a lot of stuff.
Creative control. That guy's paid, and he just changed. Oh, you're paid to change stuff. Change this. All right, I took this off and I added this. Oh yeah, that's good. Even
Yeah, I
though
mean, trying to prove their worth.
right, and they never s-
They're
go
sitting
by and
behind a desk and told to do something to make it worth more. I mean, I'm sorry, but Microsoft and Google, two companies that are constantly changing things that doesn't need to be changed.
no. I'm supposed to check. You're supposed to
I'm
check it every
thirsty.
day. I'm thirsty too. Let's do the next one.
I am so excited that you said that, Shagdog.
I
You
am
have
too.
just made my evening.
Wow.
Do you
I
realize that?
I bet I did.
Yeah. I'm anxious.
I'm anxious too. I'm ready to drink the next one. What do you want to do? One of Oktoberfest type beers?
I thought
Well,
you were
we'll
going to
talk.
say you're stuttering.
Stuttering? Is that from a movie?
No, I just thought
Oh,
you'd say it.
oh, oh.
I don't know which one you want to do next, but hey,
Yeah,
it'll be
we'll
a
figure it
surprise.
out. Yeah, once we get off here, we'll figure it
Hey,
out.
we'll go out there and get in the field and see what we can harvest.
We don't have a lot of Oktoberfest, or I know you
We
got
don't have
probably
a
more.
lot of.
Yeah, a lot of Oktoberfest. A lot of. That must be my New York part still in me. Huh? We don't have a lot of Oktoberfest. But we have one or two Oktoberfest. One, I don't know. I guess you could call them fall beers. I guess a couple of them.
Yeah. Did you ever go out and get the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't find it. The place I went to.
That's gonna have to be my single review, I guess,
Yeah, do that one.
because I had it and I was hoping you'd go out and find it, but I was at the last Oktoberfest before they stopped doing Oktoberfest.
Before COVID.
Yeah,
Are they doing Oktoberfest again yet, or no?
I don't think they did. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up later. We'll
Yeah.
look it up before we get on the next beer review. All right. Well, I'm Shagdog, the Great.
And I'm Jammer.
And I
We
love
are the Spitter Swallow Beer Review.
We are. All right. We'll see you on the next one.